Well, when I was in high school, this was my junior year, we were in league, and my best friend on the team actually went down with an ankle injury. And I remember thinking in that moment, the first thought that came to my head was, oh God. He was the second best player on our team, so my initial thoughts were, we're gonna lose this game, like, we need him. And then it hit me that the first thing that I should be concerned about isn't if we're gonna win this game or not. It should be about my friend's health and how he was doing. So I sprinted over there, asked if he was okay, helped limp him off the court, and then, dedicated that game to him. And, I tried to get the job done. Unfortunately, couldn't win that game. But in that moment, it made me really realize that sometimes, especially on the court when your emotions are rising, it's bigger than the game.
I would say going back to my third year of coaching when I was back at Buchanan High School, I was still pretty wet behind the ears as far as coaching goes, and just understanding that, sometimes as a coach, it's hard to get in your players' shoes, so to speak, to see kind of what they go through, what their lives are like beyond basketball. That showed me that basketball means a lot to people. Like, it is something that they need to get through each day sometimes.
In high school, when I met most of my lifelong friends, just fun sharing that experience together. And now I still talk with them 2 years later and I'm out of high school, so I would say that moment defined me,
One of the hardest is probably going on losing streaks, because it kind of feels like you're never gonna get back on a winning streak, and it's tough to kind of climb out of that hole. I would say I just kind of use it as motivation to get back on a winning streak, but losing is hard, and especially when it's like over and over. So that's probably one of the hardest things.
It's been a long road to get to where I want to be, and honestly, I'm still not there, because I'm not full-time at our school here. I'm adjunct, and so I've taught and coached in high schools, club, elementary. I've taught elementary school. I went to school, got 2 masters. I went back to school and got tighter in our discipline, and I've done a lot of things just to get to where I'm at right now, and I'm still not even there.
My biggest regret has to be kind of like a half regret. I regret going to the high school we went to, just because no one really cared for us there. We didn't get any recognition. We got nothing. We were there to play basketball, and that's it. There was nothing of us going on, nothing, and they didn't really care about that. Plus the Central Coast where we're at is not really known for basketball. I feel like if we went to a different high school, we would have gotten more recognition and gone on. So that's my biggest regret. But I don't regret the people I met or friends I have, so.
Probably not speaking up, whether it's like to my coaches or my players. I feel like there's moments where I could have said something that I wanted to say, and then later on I was like, man, I should have said that. And I think regret is like one of the worst feelings. So definitely I should have said some things that I should have, and just spoke up when I felt like I needed to.
I think the beauty of basketball is that there's a lot of highs and a lot of lows, but it really shows who you are, or the kind of person you are, the kind of character you have, how you react in the highs, the lows, the mediums, because it's all like this.
Are there things that maybe I would do different knowing what I know now? Absolutely. If I have the knowledge base that I have now when I was 28, and I did, and I made some of those mistakes at 28, I probably wouldn't make those mistakes if I had today's knowledge.
I can think back to a game this season. We were on the road against Moore Park. Well, we were down 14 earlier in the game, and we went on a little run. We cut it back to about 6, 7, about 2 minutes left. But what I realized on the court was that we were just trading baskets with these guys at this point. We couldn't get over that hump. So we came down to possession, 2 minutes left. Early in the possession, I get the ball swung to me. I take a quick 3. It's a 3 I definitely can make, but I miss it pretty badly to the left, and immediately get subbed out. Coach is furious at me, yells at me. And, I'm coming to the bench pissed. I want to be on the game, on the court, try to help us win this game, and I'm taken out of the game. I knew I wasn't going back in. So I was pissed, I'm saying this, saying that, obviously very clearly mentally checked out at the game. That's not who I needed to be in that moment, but, I sat on the bench, all quiet, humped over, but we go on, and, a couple guys, I think Eli, he made a couple great plays, And we cut it to 2, all of a sudden we cut it to 1, and now all of a sudden, oh, I'm right back engaged in the game, you know? Because in that moment I realized, yeah, I want to be on the court helping my team win, but you know, it's not about me, you know, it's just about the team getting the job done on the road.
There's going to be hard times, there's going to be good times. You're definitely going to love the people you meet along the way. Some of them you won't, but you know, the ones that you do, you know, that you'll have them around forever. So I'd say just stick with it.
One thing I would say is be patient, whether you're a player or a coach. As a player, don't expect immediate results. You know, if you're learning the game, you know, you're getting in the gym, working on your shot, working on finishing at the rim, working on rebounding, defense, whatever it is you're working on, you have to trust that there is a process that happens through it.
If a kid came up to me and he was like, hey, you know, I want to play Division I basketball, I want to play professional basketball, I would look him in his eyes and I would tell him, you have to dedicate from this point forward to basketball. And you are, if, let's say they're just entering high school, I'll tell them, you're not going to have a life in high school. And that's how it needs to be. If you want to separate yourself from the rest of the group, you know, you can't be partying Friday, Saturday, you can't be drinking, you can't be doing drugs in high school. There's no room for that.
Don't be afraid to be uncomfortable and get out of your comfort zone and say things when you feel like it's something needs to be said.
There are literally millions of basketball players that are, you know, your age. And what separates you from those other players is your ability to listen, learn, and apply.